The Redondo Beach Center for Spiritual Living and the Ministry of Dr. Moira Foxe presents Living Ideas.
So here we are on this great good day for all kinds of reasons, but one of them is that we're celebrating the great Martin Luther King Jr.'s birthday and life's journey and all the good that he has brought into the world and so on as we continue, as you may have noticed from the music and from the singing. So it is a very wonderful day to be in. And we continue our journey now looking at the principles of science of mind. We're looking at the triune nature of life. Life has a triune nature, three wonderful aspects to it. We have looked at the absolute, the almighty, God, infinite being, first cause, whatever you want to call what cannot be named because it's infinite, and the finite cannot name the infinite, but we always try. And we looked at it being the same today, yesterday, and tomorrow, always its whole complete self, always available and always giving itself out onto life in all kinds of beautiful, wonderful, magnificent ways. And it'll always be so, as it always has been so. And then we looked at the way that spirit shows up in life, the way that God shows up in life. Being, of course, total love, unconditioned and unconditionally in operation. Its essence is love, but the way it demonstrates itself is through its own law of life. And we looked at that last week. And then we saw in the past, as we are seeing today, that the action and the movement and the connection between the Spirit, the Almighty, and its amazing law, which we call the soul of creation, the action that takes place between those two aspects of its own being creates something. And what it creates is the body of creation, all of creation in all form. And so that's the triune aspect of God as we understand it in metaphysics. Spirit, soul, and body. And the action between spirit and soul creating the body. And so we're looking at what this law of life does and what it is all about, Alfie, today. And what it does is it creates. It simply creates. That's all it does. It creates. And how it creates is through self-contemplation. It thinks into itself, upon itself, and what it thinks comes into being. That's how the Almighty creates, and that is exactly what you do too. Everything in your life to this moment in time is the result of what you have been thinking and what you have been feeling. What you have been thinking and what you have been feeling is the result of your consciousness and its projection out into life. You think upon yourself, you ponder, you contemplate, you dwell on things, and you support that dwellingness with feeling, and then it happens. So as God creates, so too do you. God in the macro, you in the micro, but nevertheless it's the very same process. And the body in your life are all your experiences, and that's what the law does. So, what does the law bring to us? What does the law give to us? What does the law do through us? This is what the law does. It brings to us everything we think. It brings to us everything we think. It returns to us our thoughts in experiences. It returns to us our thoughts in actual experiences. This is an amazing thing to know. This is a powerful thing to know. This is deep wisdom to know. That my life is a projection of my consciousness, and that the law of life, with all its power, its omniscience, its omnipotence, is backing me up with every thought I think and every feeling I entertain. That all power is backing me up in what I'm thinking and in what I'm feeling. This is incredible news for those of us who receive it. Because what that is saying is this: the law returns to me what I think into it. Now, if that's so, and I decide to think all that is good and whole and wholesome into the law, there is no limit to the good that I can experience, because all power and all might of divine infinite intelligence is backing up what I'm thinking and what I'm feeling. So if I get my thinking act together, and if I decide and choose consciously and mindfully and purposefully to think along the lines of the good that I desire, and only the good that I desire, then it is mine, absolutely, without the shadow of a doubt. But that means I must not think upon what I don't have. I must think upon what I do have in the way of blessing, and then know that that blessing is expanding. I cannot go to lack, limitation, less than, not enoughness. I mustn't go there, because every time I go there, I'm weakening the power that I have available to me to bring through me the good that I desire. So I must focus and concentrate on the good that I desire. Now, ask and you shall receive, but the way we ask in this teaching is to give thanks for the good already in place, knowing it's there on the invisible side of life, and I flesh it out into my experience through my allowance of it in the way I think and in the way I feel and in the way I say, yes, my good is there for me, and I am supposed to have it, and I'm having it because I'm going with it, and I'm saying yes to it, and I'm believing it, and I am knowing it, and I am thinking it, and I am feeling it, and it is so. Because it's not just me that's doing this, it is the power, it is the presence, it is the almighty word of spirit itself. That is the energy behind what I'm thinking and feeling and saying and doing and open and receptive to. And by Jiminy Crickets, if I can get myself into that state, it is done unto me as I am stating, as I am knowing, as I am thinking, as I am believing, as I am feeling. And nothing can get in the way of it, and that's the truth. And if you don't know this, don't take my word for it. Try it out, test it out, put it to the test. And I'm telling you, you will amaze yourself. Amaze yourself. That's what today is all about. You and me getting once and for all the significance, the potency, the importance, and the power of what I'm thinking and what I'm feeling, what I'm knowing and what I'm allowing as far as what's going on in my consciousness, because that's creating the life I'm living and nothing else. That's what the law brings to me. What must I bring to the law? Well, I must take to the law a pure mind and an open and receiving heart. I must hold up to the law a worthy, mindful vessel. I must take to the law a large consciousness, a big consciousness, an affirming consciousness, if I am to receive large experiences in return. Now, if my life is not going right, if I'm experiencing lack and limitation of whatever kind in my life, it is because I am not holding up to the law this big, wide, huge vessel of open receptivity and affirmation. I am being very small-minded, very limited in the way I'm thinking. And as a consequence of that, I am stopping the flow of my good. I'm preventing my good to happen because my mind is on smallness, limitation. It's not on the good that I desire. It's not on the attitude of gratitude, because I know that my good is there for me and I'm supposed to have it. And my good that entered into my mind as a thought to be realized is a divine impulse within me. It didn't come from me at all. It came from the infinite, from within me, that wants me to flourish and to thrive. Why? Because the divine design for me is that I should flourish and thrive and have a life of wonder and amazing grace and all goodness and fullness and plenty and wellness of being. All of it. The kingdom, no less, and all therein. That's the divine design for me, the will, if you like, of God for me. And there is no other will of God for me except that I should have life in abundance and my joy might be complete. That's the only will of God for me. The rest is my own doing, my own production, my own results of my thinking and my feeling, and what I believe and what I don't believe, what I know and what I don't know, what I think and what I don't think. That's what shows up in my life. So it's given to you and it's given to me today to ponder these things again. And Ernest Holmes says the only thing you need for all of this good to happen, he says, is a large sense of consciousness, a deeper awareness of life and a knowledge of its law and how it works, and a much more abundant concept of your own being. That's what's required if we are to realize the good that we're capable of realizing. The key upon which it all stands is faith. The faith in the truth that sets me free. That sets me free. And boy, do we want to be free, liberated, have a sense of ourselves not being under the tyranny of any person, place, or thing, especially my own. But to be free and at peace and at rest and at home within myself, feeling good about myself, trusting myself, knowing that the divine self within me, that intuitive intelligence, can take me through anything, take away from me anything I want to let go of, and bring to me any good thing I want to have come to me, and to take care of whatever business I wanted to take care of, provided I get out of its way. For in spirit there is no strife, there is no struggle, there is no efforting. And as long as I'm striving and struggling and efforting, I'm not going about life the right way. What is it given to me to do? To relax into the deep faith I have in the all-power and the all-presence that lives and moves and has its being within me, is around me and about me, above me, below me, everywhere present, and into which I can think my deepest thoughts of goodness and kindness and love and light and life and beauty and grace and health and well-being and fullness and plenty and loving relationship and creative expression. That's all I have to do. Just think all of that within it, honoring it, knowing that it is mine through divine grace. Nothing I have to do, simply to be in faith, to be in truth, to be honoring, to be allowing, to be receiving, to be knowing, to be connected with my source in a way that fills me with so much joy. There's no place within me for doubt. There's no place within me for anything but a sense of being blessed and given to and responded to in an affirmative way. For that to happen, I have to have a relationship with my source. I have to be on intimate terms with my source. I have to be connected with my source constantly and continuously, and feel the presence around me and about me, above me, below me, and within me, emanating everywhere. And yes, very much so from within myself, regardless of how I've been or what I've been up to. Doesn't matter. God's grace never leaves me. God's love always keeps me and is never in the slightest diminished, regardless of how I try to destroy myself and my well-being and my good. Far less make the effort to be okay. That's the way it is. That's the truth of being. And you will not know that until you grow the faith in yourself to know that until you allow the possibility of that to begin with. Allow the possibility. What if it is so? Let's try it out. Let's put it to the test. What if it is so? And you learn it is so as you go along that route. Remember, when Spirit speaks its word, it's not a spoken word. It's a sense. It has an idea. Instantly, it is so. There is no processing in Spirit. Spirit doesn't go into a process. Spirit doesn't analyze its idea and think if it's a good one or not. Spirit doesn't say, well, I need 3 days to think about this and I'll get back to you later. That's us. We have to do that. We're human beings. Because the only reason why you and I have to do it is because we don't trust enough and our faith is insufficient. That's all. But in Spirit, there is no process. It's an idea that comes, done, there, present immediately. And that can be the very same for you and for me too. Because as Spirit creates, so too do you. And if you had faith like that, it would be done like the faith of Jesus. Lazarus, come forth. Done. Because Jesus knew the law, the spirit of life itself. God, Father, always heard him and responded to him immediately. Immediately. Do you believe I can do this for you, good man? Yes, I do. Go, your faith has made you whole. Arise, take up your bed, walk. And so on. That was the faith we're talking about. Jesus was so connected to his source that he didn't know where he began and source ended. But he was so connected and so in relationship with that source, the power, the intuitive intelligence within him, that when he spoke the word, all of the power and the might of the Almighty backed it up. Because he knew, not of myself do I do this. It's not me that does this. It's the power, it's the presence, it's the word within me that doeth the work. He knew it so well. See, the problem with us is we think we have to do it. Now I have to get this straight. I have to pull myself together. I have to get my act together. I have to. Well, I have to do nothing except one thing, and that is be in the presence in open receptivity and absolute faith. That's all. So what I have to is to simply be in faith, be the faith, and speak the word with the faith of God, not faith in God, but speak the word for my good with the faith of God, because I of myself am not doing this. It is the power, it is the presence within me that's speaking its word of truth. And I'm getting out of its way so that I can become the receptivity to the givingness of its good to me, through me. There can be no completion of an action without a giver and a receiver. There's no good giving if there's no one to give to or no one to receive. And I cannot receive if there's nobody to give me something to receive. It's a mutual thing, interconnected, interrelated, interdependent. Givingness, receivingness. Givingness, receivingness. And if you and I are not in the process of giving and receiving, we're not operating according to the law. Give, and you shall receive. So I get the idea, I have the idea, and I know the idea is a good idea. It's a great idea. Why wouldn't an idea for health, for fullness, for plenty, for loving relationship be a good idea? And why wouldn't God want me to be in health, to have fullness and plenty, and to be in loving relationships, and to be creatively expression? No reason why. So I have to take responsibility for the idea being expressed. So I think the thought, I think the thought. I say yes to the thought, I say yes to the thought. To the point that I begin to feel the thought, saturating my being. This is me setting the intention. This is me supporting the good that I desire. And I keep doing that, and I keep giving thanks for that, and I keep reminding myself it's already there. I'm fleshing it out, I'm fleshing it out. As soon as my faith in that good being realized is strong enough, it will come into my my life. That's how I do it. That's how I do it. But I can't just get a great idea and then let it pass. Get a great idea in the morning and by noon it's gone out the window. Get a great idea and know it's absolutely so, and go along for a day or two, and then somebody says something to me and then it knocks me off center and I say, oh well, maybe it was too good to be true. I have to keep supporting the idea. It's like I always show you every year, and I love this because I love it myself. It's so good. Here's my intention, here's my idea, very flat thing, it's not much of anything. Drop this amongst anything red and you won't see it. It'll dissipate itself, it'll disappear. It will be there in potential, but it's only in potential. This is an idea in potential. I have to do something with it. I have to give it oomph, I have to give it power. I have to set the intensity around it that it's going to be, and this is how I do it. See? I blow life into it. And it is life. It's the breath of my life. I'm supporting my idea. It's growing. It's getting bigger and bigger. I'm getting more confident around it. I keep thinking, oh yeah, it is on its way. More support, oh my, look. I can really feel it now. I can feel it going into the marrow of my bones. Oh, it's okay. I see some of you getting a little anxious as the balloon gets bigger. Now it's really happening. It's really happening. It's really happening. I'm setting up this great intensity within myself that's saying, yes, 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 yes. Somebody's holding the edge of their seat. And so, and so, and so. And so I keep empowering it, I keep empowering it, I keep empowering it. And once I keep it up and flowing, and once I keep it bubbling like that and buoyant, and once I keep knowing and knowing and knowing, this beautiful thing turns into the experience I so desire, I want to achieve and want to accomplish. However, even when I get to this point, if I stop supporting it, and if I do not keep thinking around it and feeling around it, that's what happens. It dissipates itself just when I'm ready to bring home the bacon, so to speak. Well, the vegetables. Just when I'm ready to bring home the vegetables, I lose confidence. I'm distracted, whatever happens, and just as the prize is about to be presented to me, dissipates, goes back to its original state of just potential. And if I want it to come into fruition, I have to start over. I have to start the process again. If you look at the piano, you have 3 balloons that started out very well. They were all of the same substance. The one that's tall and standing still is the one of realized and fulfilled intention. The others lost their oomph along the way. And I would like you to identify with the balloons. Which ones would you identify with most of the time, 51% of the time? You don't have to answer it, it's a rhetorical question. But that's what that's there for, to show you that it's very important that your thought power, your feeling power of conviction, back up and support what you have decided is good for you in your life and you're going to accomplish and achieve. That's the way it is done. Thought is creative. Thought creates experiences. Every thought is an act of creation. Every thought is an act of creation. There are no minor or lesser thoughts. All thought is important because all those thoughts build up into a combined energy that's going to produce a result, whether it's good, bad, or indifferent in your life. So choose this day the blessing or the curse. And what we know for this week that we are going to be choosing is thoughts that bring blessings, thoughts that are blessings, thoughts that are healing thoughts, mending thoughts, fixing thoughts, transforming thoughts, uplifting thoughts. Those are the thoughts we want to be thinking of, and only those thoughts. See yourself at the end of the realization. See yourself with the good already in place in mind to begin with. And if you keep supporting that, that's exactly what's going to happen, and all of creation will rush in to support it happening. All of nature will be supporting you in what you're thinking and what you're feeling so that it can happen in your life as an experience. For your own great good sake. Whatever is good, whatever is pure, whatever is of good rapport, think only on those things so that you can realize only those experiences. And you, as I've said earlier, will amaze yourself. Others too, but it's all about amazing yourselves. Are you thinking right now that you're ready to change your thinking so that you can change your life? Yes. Do you think that you are capable of thinking transforming thoughts? Yes. Do you feel that you're ready to choose to support your decision now to think only good things? Yes. And when do you think the process begins? Now. And you're up for it? Yes. Equal to it? Yes. Able for it? Yes. Equal to the responsibility of great good thinking? Yes. And by Jiminy Cricket, so it is.